It's 1988, and I just bought myself a new bottle of Davidoff Cool Water. A scent that will last forever. Or will it? You see, on the bottle and online it says it's only going to last 36 months, and so do many others. So what would happen if I left the bottle here for, let's say, 10, 20, or even 36 years until my grandson finds it in a closet? Will it look like the bottom of the ocean floor, or will it be expired? Well, the answer is yes, but also no. To find a definitive answer, we're going to not only need to define expired, but also understand why things expire in the first place. Come with me. The true definition of expired is to cease to be valid or to come to an end, or that one as well. But often when we think of expiring, we think of some spoiled milk or maybe some ground beef that you left in the fridge too long. You see, over time, bacteria, yeast, and mold will grow on food, as well as natural enzymes in the food will cause the food to be spoiled, especially in humid and favorable temperatures. Now let's get that out of here. The solution to this is a freezer, so you should do the same to keep your fragrances from expiring after the 36-month mark, right? The answer is no. Fragrances are very high in alcohol concentration, high enough that bacteria will not be able to grow inside your fragrance in the same way that it grows inside milk or any foods. Perfume oils have also been shown to have very high antibacterial properties, meaning that a freezer would be unnecessary in this situation. Now I can see through the screen into your brains that many of you are thinking, Lincoln, we all knew bacteria wasn't going to grow inside. We're not stupid. We're not worried about that. We're worried about if I leave my fragrance somewhere for 3 years, is it going to start smelling like a wet dog that's been like rolling around in its own, or is it going to be just like toned down and just like be watery? And the answer is it will absolutely not. If you do one thing that the Egyptians did. That's right. You see, this is Egypt, and these are Egyptian tombs buried thousands of years ago. But if you ask some people like Joe Rogan, it was buried a couple 100,000 years ago by aliens. Egyptian pharaohs were often buried with fragrance oils, some rumors saying even Credaventus. But will we ever really know for sure? But when archaeologists opened these tombs in the late 1800s, along with unleashing probably thousands of spirits and curses onto the land, it also came with the sweet and strong aroma of the frankincense and whatever other concoction of fragrance oils were in the tombs. So certainly after thousands of years, these fragrance oils did not lose their scent, or at least not lose their scent enough for it to be unnoticeable. However, because there was no Jeremy fragrance 5,000 years ago, we're never really gonna know how strong the scent was back then compared to how it is now. But the most important thing to note here is that the lighter the scent is, the more volatile it is. So like citrus fragrances are going to be more prone to losing their scent over time than something like frankincense and most of the spices that the Egyptians probably buried. But the one thing that you can do that the Egyptians did to stop their fragrance oils from expiring or losing their scent is to bury your fragrance deep in the ground underneath the pyramid in a massive tomb full of dust and a dead carcass. Mummified one, at least. But jokes aside, they put it somewhere cool, dry, and away from sunlight. It is probably safe to say that an Egyptian tomb is the best place to store your fragrance. If you consider yourself a real fragrance expert, then you have that option. Or you can just put it in a room in your basement if you have one that's away from sunlight or changes in humidity, and your fragrance will be lasting much longer than 36 months. Maybe not 5,000 years, certainly over 10 years and possibly into the 3,000 year mark if you're lucky. However, your fragrances are not totally safe yet, unfortunately, because there's one more thing that can affect your fragrance over time: oxidation. You see, the moment you spray your bottle, the liquid inside is exchanged with air. That's how a pump works. Now, for the most part, the air in your bottle is going to be oxygen, and the oxygen touches your fragrance and causes the oxidation process, which is capable of changing the color of the liquid, as well as actually altering the scent. From what I've found, generally in a nicely sealed bottle with a cap in a room like that, I think the oxidation fears might be blown a little bit out of proportion. But keep in mind that is something that can happen to your fragrance over time, and it's not something you have perfect control over if you're regularly using your fragrance. It's safe to say that your fragrance might age over time, but if it's stored properly, it really won't expire. So this begs the final and biggest question: why do all these fragrances say that they're going to expire in 2 to 5 years? Is it because fragrance companies want us to spend more of our product so that we'll spend more money in the future? Maybe. Or maybe they just don't think we're going to store it properly. Either way, when sitting in perfect conditions for 36 years, your fragrance is going to smell roughly the same.